Hi everybody, I'm Zach and I like movies, and I'm here to talk to you about one of the movies by the late great David Lynch. It is his 1992 film, Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me. Now, I want to keep some things, a lot of things, mostly vague, not just for spoilers' sake, but also because you really need to have experienced the Twin Peaks show to like fully, get this. This was a greenlit very not too long after the show was abruptly canceled, and the show Twin Peaks is obviously like one of the staples of David's career, and really one of the great television shows of its time. Very time, and like just even kind of the pitch that like David Lynch is doing this kind of like murder mystery soap opera kind of thing. Like so much of it, so much of what the show's about entails like all the characters of the town Twin Peaks, who's related to who's has relationships with who's sleeping with who, and also special FBI agent Dale Cooper and his peculiarities and all their delightful and every character's delightful idiosyncrasies. And it's a delightful show. But then after the major success that it had with its first season, which by the way, the pilot is absolutely amazing. I just need to throw that out there. After the success of the first season, they got renewed for a second, but then like a lot of the suits kind of came in, sort of like wanted to tool around with what David did. He and his co-creator Mark Forst had to like create a 22 episode season, which was standard at the time, but it didn't fall. Chunks of that second season are very unsatisfying, and especially at the time. But like David's career is kind of David Lynch is kind of the king of like the initial backlash to the eventual reclamation. Like it happened with Lost Highway, it happened with Eraserhead, kind of happened with Blue Velvet, and it even happened with Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me. And Twin Peaks and Fire Walk with Me acts as a prequel to the show itself. You had that has this kind of brief couple, I want to say like about 30-ish minute prologue, where it's sort of like establishing like the like setup for the Twin Peaks show. But then the bulk of the movie is the last week in the life of the key murder victim of the show, Laura Palmer. And this was very controversial at the time. This premiered at that year's Cannes Film Festival. It got booed, which not an uncommon occurrence for Cannes, but it was something of a troubling thing for David, especially at the time. This movie was it was not well received with fans either. This is especially in comparison to Twin Peaks, this is much darker. Like, let me tell you, this has got to be the darkest thing that David Lynch has ever made, flat out. I'm throwing that in comparison to Blue Velvet, and granted, I still need to brace myself for Inland Empire and Twin Peaks: The Return, but this is really emotionally affecting. Like, I was not like, you're never prepared for a movie to like really just completely devastate you, and Fire Walk with Me absolutely ruined me. Like, wow, man. And I think so much of what it does is very interesting, especially because you compare it to the show. Like with this prologue that happens at the start, it's not focused on Dale Cooper. I mean, Dale Cooper's there, but he's like mostly stationed in like an office with Gordon Cole, played by David. Love Gordon. But it's mostly focusing on this other FBI agent who goes to investigate a murder that's that is sort of similar to Laura's death. She was a young woman, was murdered in similar circumstances. She was wrapped in plastic, much like Laura, and they go up to this, like, I think it was like some Washington State, I want to say, and it's interesting because when when this agent and his partner go there, it is like basically it's basically the opposite of Twin Peaks. It's very with Twin Peaks, the show, and the community, it's very inviting, it's very welcoming and friendly. I mean, there's definitely darker characters there, but like so much of it is very like just kind of sweet, especially, we have a federal agent here. Well, how do you like, offers a handshake. Well, how do you do, Special Agent Dale Cooper? Have some of our pie and have some of our coffee and pie. But here it's just like they go to the town diner. It's late at night. The place is like just really just not welcoming at all. Like there's a lamp that is like flickering very loudly, very aggressively, very brightly. And the waitress is just like very bitter and standoffish. He gets coffee. It doesn't taste great. I'm curious to like what all this, and I'm still kind of trying to piece together what this whole like prologue is for, if like so much of the rest of it is about Laura. And I guess to kind of ease ourselves into the tone that the movie will go into. This is, like I said, is much darker compared to the original show, and it's and I guess because you had to like give familiar enough beats, like, oh, here's our special agent Dale Cooper, except here's our new special agent Dale Cooper, but instead of like talking to Diane in a tape recorder, his Diane is like just a partner that comes with him, who's actually played by Kiefer Sutherland, and there's like clearly some like a mystery going on, and like very odd goings on. This very that the show eventually dug more into, with these like very spiritual, like very supernatural elements. Like a Dale, it does invoke Dale's like odd sense of premonition, and like that's has like no and even like when we get this, and it really accentuates even further when we finally get a scene with Dale Cooper and Gordon, where in walks Special Agent Philip Jeffries, who's played by David Bowie, who is doing some kind of Cajun some kind of New Orleans accent. It's a little he's like talking very cryptically, giving like vague, strange warnings about what's to come. But like these scenes are like very like kind of hard to get a full grasp on, and I think part of that might have to do with the fact that like there wasn't like a whole lot of time to shoot this, because Kyle MacLachlan was kind of burnt out with Twin Peaks at the time, and he kind of only did this as basically a favor to David. And like he only gave 5 days to shoot this scene, so David Bowie only had so much time to prepare for a scene, and he's only like a handful of camera setups anyway, so it's very odd. This whole scene is odd, but like after this scene, when we like start to like when we have this shift happens, and like we get now then Dale, it's like Dale sort of fills in this role as like, okay, now we're having an investigator. Then we come back to Twin Peaks and we follow Laura. And Laura here is played by Sheryl Lee. Who is my God, she is utterly magnificent. Utterly just so brilliant. She's so powerful. So many of her scenes are so powerful. And I'm so taken by like what this movie does with the character of Laura Palmer, because in the show the mystery kind of isn't really the point. Like Dale's here to solve the mystery, but like so much of the show is about the character relationships and just sort of the folksy homey comfort of the town of Twin Peaks and its denizens. But with here we have Laura Palmer, and like Laura Palmer kind of stops being a person. You can think of it as Laura Palmer she just like there's not really no Laura Palmer in the show. She's a body wrapped in plastic. She is just a dead young woman. She's just the homecoming queen prom picture that closes that we see in the credits at the end of every episode. There's no Laura Palmer the person. She is just the idea, the face of Laura Palmer. And you can kind of extend that to the true crime genre itself, where in like, even as you, the viewer, are understanding like the details of like who was killed, how they were killed, and the circumstances and all that. They kind of like the person who was killed eventually just kind of stops being a person. They just kind of become a name, a number, this like sort of they just get further abstracted into this just a vague shape of a person. Like there again, it's just there is no Laura Palmer. It's only the picture of Laura Palmer. But Laura Palmer here, she is troubled. She is fraught. She is doing drugs. She's moonlighting as an underage prostitute. She is in love with Bob. She's dating Bobby mostly for the cocaine. She has a friend. She has her best friend with Donna. There's James, who she tries to fall for, but like she has so much going on. And one of the things major thing going on, she's like haunted by this vision of Bob, who is in the show, and here this sort of malevolent spirit that is sort of keeping things that is sort of like it's his face just horrifies her, and it's very very upsetting in like the sound, in the sound, the imagery, the lighting, and the editing. Holy crap! So much of the editing here is just so brilliant. And yeah, this is kind of the rest of the movie, where we watch the very the life of a woman just sort of fall apart as she's like grabbed with violence, with horror, and truths that absolutely just are so horrifying she can't even bear to face them. And it's almost like you become you start disassociating with her. And I understand why this movie was so controversial at the time. This is just it has very little of what one would like would like Twin Peaks in here, and it's so dark. It is so dark, and I can't begin to tell you how utterly horrifying it is. It just the way that Lynch just navigates and like is able to visualize not just trauma, but like the horrors of sort of realizing the trauma. And it's, oh my god. And man, Sheryl Lee is amazing. Ray Wise comes back as Leland Palmer, and he's magnificent too. Just the most vile I think he has ever been in anything. Good lord. Ugh. And many of these scenes where where it's just like, some scenes kind of go on for like too long. Like there's a scene where she and Donna go to this like real skeezy bar, and it has this like the music that plays there is this honestly really cool, really like grooving, rocking, thudding rock music. And they're like, she's drinking, she's doing drugs, she's getting high, and this scene goes on for what feels like 10 minutes, and like at a point it just gets so hard, so like scary and deafening that you have to just kind of that you really just want to somehow escape. And then of course there are the visions of the Black Lodge, the room with the red curtains and the zigzag black and white floors. There's the dwarf, the one-armed man. It's all and man, like the imagery here is just some of Lynch's best. And so affecting. I really can't underscore how just affected I was by this. like when this movie, like the last like 10 minutes of this movie are really are like so terrifying. It's so grim, and it's just it's so dark. I honestly hadn't. I was even scared to like keep watching it. But then it comes to this moment of rest at the very end where we see where there's just like, after all of this inescapable, unimaginable horror, there is hope. There is a sense of relief in this darkness, and it's so, and like it's relieving, but it's so dark too. It's like the most bitter. It's maybe the most bittersweet ending I've ever seen, where yeah, what happens is so dark and so horrible, but they're happy. And then, well, yeah, we see, it's kind of not really a spoiler. It's the last days of Laura Palmer's life. We see her die, and the relief, and she has such relief that she's dead, and it's so sad. And it comes to this image of like this angel floating in the space, and Laura smiling through her tears, and really smiling, not this like real tight, all teeth, I'm trying to get something I want from you smile. It's this genuine, I'm so happy that I finally got what I want smile. And it's so, I just, when the movie finished, I just sat back and I just started crying silently. I just couldn't stop crying. It was so powerful. So yeah, I can't recommend this enough. I don't know when I'll see this again, but I know I want to. I feel it's a beautiful movie, even though it's a very terrifying movie. I'd love to see this, but I really need to recommend you kind of do need to watch Twin Peaks, at least the first season and chunks of the second. And I really got to watch The Return. I'm very excited to see what that is. I hear it's a little closer to this tone, which is that sounds like it could be a tough sit, but man, this was great. Yeah, this was wonderful. I can't, man, this is definitely one of my favorite first watches of the year. This is marvelous. And yeah, the Criterion release for this is fantastic, and they put out a 4K upgrade not too long ago, so definitely recommend that. And I think that'll be it for now. Man, I'm still can't believe that David's gone. He really, no one did it like him. No one did it like him, and his influence is seen everywhere, especially with the influence of television from Twin Peaks. Like without Twin Peaks, we wouldn't have stuff like True Detective, and like a lot of like the way the prestige TV is done now. Like the model of that has been sort of the real great serialization is, you can see that with Twin Peaks. And wonderful show, wonderful movie, wonderful man. And I guess that'll be my closing line. And so, I'm Zach. I like movies. I like Twin Peaks too, and I love David Lynch. I miss him dearly. And I have a lot more movies to watch. I have Inland Empire. It's like down there. I still need to watch it. I'll not this week, definitely next. Yeah, that'll be it. Hope you all check it out. Hope you all check out Twin Peaks. Hope you check out. Hope you just watch movies, because movies are good, and movies are life. And despite all things, despite all the horrors and all the darkness, life is good and worth living. And I will see you all later. You take care of yourselves.